Arch's Nest is super unique. It is one of the first of its kind. So we shelter the entire family unit. We provide them their own space, so they'll get their own unit based on their size, individualized bathrooms, and then we set up everything the way a family would organically live their lives. So they have their own access to refrigerators, cabinets, they cook. We have 2 beautiful custom kitchens, so they get to prepare meals for their families and the meals they like, so they're not having to do a food line and buffet style. We do family dining. We have engagement centers throughout the whole area, gaming rooms and TV rooms and reading spaces, and throughout every space there are playstations or sit and read a book. So really designed for wellness and for the space a family needs to thrive. When we were looking for the model of this type of shelter, we looked across the entire nation, all of the models. We are one of the first of its kind. There are families, shelters who will let the whole family spend the night and then they all leave in the morning, or they're really short-term, small spaces or host homes. Our shelter is unique. We let every member of the family, we do not separate out men or just women and children, so they get to stay as a unit. If there's multi-generational, we'll take the grandparents, aunts, uncles, however they're identifying the unique family unit thrives together. We had to do a lot of research, make sure we had safety considerations in place. And then another thing that's unique is the age of the children. They get to stay throughout their entire trajectory. We also run youth sheltering, so most often we would get the dads in a male-only shelter, moms and youngers in a shelter, and then you'd separate out teenagers, particularly teen males. And that's really, it's its own barrier to families thriving. And so in this space, we have families of all ages and sizes. So anywhere from like a single parent to a brand new baby, to a single parent and a teenager, or a teenager transitioning to adulthood. We also have spaces for really large families. So we have Jack and Jill's, so we can make 2 units into one, accommodating up to like 10 folks. Those get used quite a bit. So it's really nice for a family with many children. I would say when Family First gets these referrals in, there are day center where families can go. They'll get referrals with a parent living in a car with 7 children. That sounds unmanageable. So this idea we can get you into shelter, let you stabilize, and then with our case management, we help not just housing, but we'll find daycare and different youth enrichment activities to meet the needs of each child, which makes it easier now for the parent to go to work, start saving money, and find housing. And so it's really good model for making sure families get that long-term support that meets the needs of everybody in the household. Because it's not just adults being able to do what they need to do. Parents have to meet the needs from the littlest to the biggest, and that's really challenging, especially if your main goal is shelter and food every day. One of our very first families came on site. Their child was actually living with another relative so that she didn't have to stay in the vehicle with them. So upon coming here, the first thing that was positive is this reunification. So the child was going from house to house. And so this reunification was a little tricky, as it is with teens and parents, but in that time, we saw relationships just stabilize. So the youth was able to get into one high school, stay there. She did really, really well. Mom was able to get enough support that she actually got her GED while here. She got her employment while here, and she got a promotion to site supervisor. And it was really neat because by the end, the daughter was so proud that this time she saw these changes that she actually threw her mom a celebration party here. And the family, mom and dad, were able to both get full-time employment and for the first time in 2.5 years, get into an apartment. And so they stayed in this community. The daughter was several hours away, so they stayed in this community all together. And I think that is what can happen when you give a family space to meet all of their needs. You know, families do well when they're given the opportunity to do what they need to do. We've seen it we had a mom with 6 little ones, and so she was able to come here. She brought a couple children at a time from out of state because she was moving up here, and so the whole family got to reunify. She got a job because she was able to get enough daycare, and then she was able to move into a type of a family unit with support for her family and her size. And so we just see positive outcome when we're letting families live normally, you know, providing support. We provide spaces of care. Just in our youth side, we see that many larger families get broken up into what is digestible. So we'll see some siblings go with one family unit and another. This allows for those larger families to be kept together, which is really not typical to family sheltering. Many of our units, you know, are 10 by 10 or about that size, so you can really only fit 4 people max. And so when we developed the space, we made sure we were meeting any family. So we looked at all of the demographics. You know, we have tiny nursery style rooms and then just really large family units. And it's nice to see those fill up quickly. You can bring your dog and cat here and just really make sure you're not having to give up and split apart your family to be successful. Then another piece is we have partnership with City of Salem's it's the homeless street team. So they're out there 7 days a week, going from camp to camp or just throughout the community, making sure people are safe. And so many times we'll get that direct call from a police officer checking on a family in a car into services. And so, which is one of, Salem Police is one of my favorite police teams I've ever worked with. They have a care for the community, they know their community, and they're able to just build trust. And so that first connection, they're really the ones creating that sense of safety and trust before they even come to our system. And so that relationship happening in real time every day throughout all of our shelters, I think is what creates that pre-contemplation to being able to make a change, to come in, to identify, I do need support. And then I think when it is the face of police or crisis teams, you can start to see, okay, this may look and feel different. And it does, because once you get in our door, like I said, we do an assessment and we'll work with all your partnerships. We are a low barrier, so having a criminal history or having engagement with ODHS and having your family being assessed is not a challenge for us. That is something we do often. We have a very positive relationship, and we'll build plans with your team that work for you, as well as helping you meet those here. So we've had families that do their team meetings here, their family visits. We've had families that do OnSite online mental health. And so we have spaces just for that. So really, we're trying to reduce the barriers that would keep you in your car or in an off-site shelter space. We understand that lots of things happen in life and there are lots of needs. And so we could not do this work without those partnerships. So it's almost a daily communication. We're in service teams to really identify what does it look like from the street, the community, and the camps to come into care, which I think a lot of what our models are built from is what is the real need, what is keeping people out in the community homeless, and how can we meet that need meaningfully. We're an emergency shelter, and as soon as they come into Family First, we'll try to engage and get them in here so there's not one more night on the street. And it's just in a tremendous amount of stress The children feel it. For the parents, everybody's kind of walking on eggshells. So it's really this survival mode. And so you can't meet all the needs. You can't. You're really trying to get nutrition, stay safe. Oftentimes the vehicle or the place that they're living at isn't mobile or functioning. So then you also have these transportation issues. You're hoping you can keep your car on the side of the road. It's really not a state of wellness for anybody. And so first thing that happens when they come here is we just do an assessment. We help them supplement food, help them build up their stores. You can't, if you're living in a car or a place not for habitat, you can't have enough food through your day. So you're typically focusing on that. And so really just, the first thing is just like stabilize your body, get some good sleep, get some nutrition. Let's figure out what are the needs. And I think that is the first thing. Many times the families don't have enough mental space to figure out what is needed first. And so this gives them that time. They get activities with the youth while they meet with the case manager and just kind of sit down. What is the biggest need you have right now? What is the biggest barrier to that? And so things we take for granted, like natural, being able to problem solve and take the time to do it well, I think those are things you don't get to do in that survival mode. We're seeing real results. We have 40 beds here, and we can house anywhere up to 17 families. In that we've had, since opening in September, I think we've had 54 families. And so that's a positive trajectory because they're coming in, meeting a bunch of goals and then moving out into apartments. What I think is really interesting is one family will learn a skill and then they'll start showing all their friends within the complex. And now they're signing each other up for services and helping them find places to live or helping them find jobs. So it's really creating this natural autonomy and community. What I've also seen is when families move out, they have like a friendship. And so they're supporting each other from the outside back in here and just really creating positive connection and community. I think there is dignity because we've seen families who are homeless multiple years in a row, been through many shelter systems, could not meet barriers and come here and able to suddenly just meet all the barriers, get education, get their youth into medical systems or behavioral health, get that finally, have enough time to get a team of support for their youth and get jobs and find housing. So it's been really meaningful and it's really unique to watch. We have many shelters here at Mid-Willamette Valley, and so for years we've been designing them with dignity and autonomy, and I think that has been the biggest transition that has lent towards developing spaces like this, knowing what works. It makes people feel good. It makes people feel like they can. It also says, I see you. And I think the goal is people do well when they get to be with their family. That's a natural support. They can lift each other up. I also think it's more cost effective myself, but when we're paying for one unit versus multiple, one case manager versus one for every type of family. And I think that's the biggest fear, is knowing that you might have to face separating. Like I said, reunification is one of the first things that happens. Let's get you all back together so that's where we can start. What does it look like for your whole family to be together?
Arch's Nest is a project of the Mid-Willamette Valley Community Action Agency. To learn more, visit them online at mwvcaa.org or call 503-399-9080. InSight OnSite is sponsored by Golden Ruleism Ambassadors Craig and Sherry Klein. Thank you for joining us on InSight OnSite. I'm Wendy Brokaw.